I'm the Kinky Polyatheist, and today on the show we're going to talk to Drgn and Sassy about dating when you're kinky and poly. Stick around. So if you've ever actually wondered how poly relationships come together and continue to function, in this case for a year and a half, today we're going to actually dig into that and you'll get to see firsthand. And I was going to let you guys each introduce yourselves. So
I'm Drgn, or GW. Been poly, also in the kink and leather communities for 6 years. Recently, founder of Playdate, but we could always get into that later. And I'm also the keto Drgn on YouTube, talking about keto and my personal weight loss journey.
And I'll put a link to that in the description.
I'm Cassandra, or Sassy. He calls me Little One, so if that happens to come up, that's why. I've been poly pretty much my entire life. I'm also in the leather kink community. I'm also a founder of Playdate, as well as the Las Vegas Boys of Leather.
Awesome. And just for the people at home, Playdate is a new club that you guys are starting with some other friends, and we're going to talk more about that in our next interview.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We're actually going to have some members in here, some other founding members.
Other founders, yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
Very much so.
Like, subscribe, and don't forget we also have a podcast now that you can check out, and swing by the store for cool things like this mug right here. Cool things like this mug right here. Let's get started. How did you guys meet?
At a munch.
At a munch. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you explain a munch for people who don't know what that means?
Absolutely. A munch is a kinky meetup. It's a safe place for anybody to meet with a potential play partner, or even just to meet people of like minds in a safe public place that you don't have to worry about creepers, really.
So 9 times out of 10, when you find a kink club or community, you start at the munch, and you're kind of being vetted out, whether you realize it or not.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Okay, so you guys met at a munch.
Yeah, I told him nice kilt, and he walked away. It was romantic.
Yeah, I was playing hard to get, and a year and a half later it worked.
To be fair, not only did he walk away, but he eventually came back, got all up in my personal space, but then he said rope, and then I was tied
Oh.
Literally.
So you had shared interest there.
Yeah.
Well, it was on her bucket list. She hadn't been tied up yet.
Okay.
And I really wanted to try, and he said I do rope, and went to his house, and we did rope.
Sweet.
Text my safe person on my way and said this is where I'm going to be, and so that way if anything happened and I didn't respond within a certain time frame, my safe person knew to come find me or send help.
Nice. So, and I like that you brought up safety. Just out of curiosity, how long was it between your first meeting at a munch and then like getting together for rope?
An hour?
An hour. Awesome.
Okay, maybe like 3.
Okay, 3 hours.
He stalked me all the way to IHOP.
Oh yeah, stalked you.
Uh-huh.
It was all very romantic people, I promise.
I like that you said that you had a safe person. So is this common practice for your community?
It should be.
Should be.
Everybody should have a safe person, whether it be a list of people or a group chat that you automatically have. If you meet somebody at a munch, letting somebody know from that munch that you trust, this is where I'm going, this is who I'm going with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because someone can come off as one way, but when you have them in their own house or their own, they get a little more, they have that more control. And so it's letting somebody know, this is where I am, this is what the activity is. If you don't hear from me within this amount of time, you know something is wrong. And then it's also, if things are going really well and you know that they're going to extend overnight or something like that, you just message your safe person and say, hey, I'm okay. I'm going to stay the night here. I feel very safe. I'll text you in the morning on my way home to let you know I'm still okay.
I'm getting lucky.
Pretty much. But you always want to make sure that somebody knows where you are. And it would be the same if you met somebody online on eHarmony. You still want somebody to know where you're going and what the plan is. Mm-hmm. Because anything can happen, especially since we live in Vegas.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that part. I actually really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you met at a munch and did some rope.
Yep.
Apparently.
No.
Hit it off.
It's funny because she's told me afterwards that she was expecting that just to be a one-night stand.
Oh, there you go.
That it was, we're going to do this and then I'm never going to hear from this dude again. Well, I really liked her energy. A lot. So I contacted her the next day about going into a DS training contract.
Wow, next day. Cool.
Yeah. And then we negotiated that over about 2 weeks? 3 weeks. Signed it. It was for a trial period of 3 months. We didn't get through the 3 months before the DS relationship turned into an actual romantic relationship.
Very cool. And I would love to actually have you back sometime and talk about contracts in another episode.
Oh,
That's right for that.
No problem.
I think that's a fantastic topic.
Yeah, I found one online and just modified it.
Don't do that.
I modified it.
You can get a blueprint of a contract. You fill in the blanks. Yeah, you do your checklist. You fill in the blanks. You
take out the stuff that doesn't apply to you. Put in stuff that isn't in there that does apply to you. It's actually a very reputable website that I got it from. It's a kink-based BDSM website that actually a lot of people in the community use.
Isn't it where we also get the checklist for the munches?
No, that's just...
Yeah, and that's an awesome checklist.
Yes, it is.
I would love to get together with him and ask if he'd love to do like an interview like this, to just walk through some of that checklist, because it's so good.
Yeah, it really is.
So in the future, when we do another episode on contracts, and hopefully our good friend's awesome kink list, I'll drop a link in the description so you can go straight to them. Okay, so you guys got together, got a contract, and within 3 months, or before the 3-month contract was over, it got romantic.
It started getting romantic, and she actually fought it. The romance part. We were actually at her company's Christmas party.
We were heading to my company Christmas party.
And she's like, "What do I introduce you as?" And I said, "Boyfriend." Because up to that point, it was sir.
And I said, "You're not my boyfriend because you told me you don't want a girlfriend and you don't want a relationship. And I'm not going to be one of those girls who tries to turn a guy into a relationship guy who's not a relationship guy, because those relationships never work out.
Never.
Girls, they don't work out."
The point of that, and the reason why I bring it up, is a much more important part of our main topic within poly and relationship styles, relationship structures, is it doesn't matter how you go into a relationship. What matters is you have to be willing to evolve with the relationship as the relationship evolves.
So your first evolution, if I'm hearing you correctly, from sir to boyfriend was the conversation that led to, are we going to go in that direction? And the answer was yes. Is that what I just heard?
After her fighting it even longer, I just had to just keep telling her, it's like, "No, I'm your boyfriend." "No, I'm your boyfriend." "Little one, I'm your boyfriend."
Again, I wasn't trying to change anybody. I knew what I signed up for when I went into it, and I was not trying to make him feel like he was pressured into something he wasn't pressured into.
So awesome. I had to pressure her into believing me.
That's awesome. So you had to let her know you were comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I see.
I had to convince her, because I let her know probably 100 times before she finally is like, "Fine, okay."
So at what point did you guys start to talk about the whole poly side of things? Was it from day one?
Day one.
Day one. So at the munch?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because when I meet people at the munch, conversations automatically go, "What's your kink? How new are you? What's your dynamic?" And I let people know I'm poly, because I'm not going to meet a guy at a munch and come off as somebody that they could have a one-on-one relationship with, because that's not anything I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I try to be upfront about it.
And I love that. I love upfront, and that's what I encourage.
Very much so. If you're in an established relationship and you want to try poly, that's very different than when you already know it's who you are.
Yeah.
You don't walk up to somebody and tell them that you don't like pizza when you know you like pizza. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're setting an improper expectation, right? So when you already know you're poly, like both of us do, it makes absolutely no sense not to throw that out there, even if you're just talking to somebody, establishing a friendship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you never know where it might go, and that is important information.
Yep.
You know what? And if they don't like the fact that you're either oversharing, or they don't like the fact that you are poly, okay, I guess we're not going to be friends.
But it's also important just to share it with friends, because you don't want to come off as easy or a slut. You don't want to come off that way to somebody when you're like showing up at one event with one boyfriend and you show up to another event with a different boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Because it happens.
Oh, yeah.
We all have busy schedules, and sometimes what would be your primary relationship is not available to go to a wedding. So you put down an RSVP +1 and you show up with another guy and they go, oh, who is this and why are you cheating on your boyfriend? It's like, I'm not cheating, I'm coming out. So I always try to be upfront, especially friends and family, that this is my dynamic and this is my lifestyle. And so if I show up at an event with one guy and show up at a different event with another, or even show up at one event with both of them, they are consenting, they know, we are happy.
Yeah, my parents know that I'm poly.
Nice.
They don't accept it.
They are incredibly religious. Luckily, my mom is absolutely an amazing woman who, even though she worries for my soul, she wants me to be happy.
Yeah.
So while she doesn't support it, she doesn't not support it, right? So the last time she was actually in town, we were having our D&D session. One of the people that plays D&D with us is one of my other partners, and my mom was there. So I told my mom, hey, my other girlfriend's going to be here, just so you know. And, my mom was kind and cordial. And in turn, I tried to be as respectful of my mom because I love her and I respect her anyway.
Okay, so a couple things that I heard that I think are awesome. I just want to call out. I love that you guys said you're open with your friends. You're open with people even strangers on first meeting. I think all that's great. And I really like that you guys are a couple that are not hiding poly. I know that a lot of people have to, either from their family or from their job or some other public.
I was like that for a very long time. I actually blocked all of my family on my Facebook for a very long time because I have a partner and him and I went on our first road trip and I wanted to be able to post the pictures. It wasn't a very long road trip. We just went up about 4 hours outside of town, went to a zoo thing, and then came back. But I wanted to post the pictures. And I didn't want to have the drama of my family who didn't know. And I was afraid to come out to them. And so I blocked everybody. And then one day, my dad was like, what do you mean you have Facebook? Because I accidentally brought it up in conversation. I was like, well, I do. But if you want to be my friend, you have to know this. And my dad is very much a non-monogamous, marriage sucks, kids suck, that whole thing sucks even though I have them. And my parents are still married happily. But my dad even says if anything happened to my mom, he would not get married again. And he's always told me, like, don't overpopulate the earth. Don't be one of those people.
Yeah.
I'm his favorite child because I'm the one without grandkids for him. Or my sister's my mom's favorite because she has kids. They're two opposite people. And he was like, I'm for this life. And my mom, when I told her, she was like, it's just a phase. You'll get over it. And I was like, I don't think so. Because I've been this way for a really long time. You just don't know about it.
Yeah.
And so now she's very accepting and she stopped hiding off of my Facebook and she actually starts liking pictures now of like other partners and asks me about them and all that kind of stuff. So
I love that she's coming around for you.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of incredible how often we get that, where people say it's just a phase. When, in my point of view, and I'm curious what yours is, my point of view is I feel like I graduated. I graduated out of... I leveled up out of monogamy. And it involved doing a lot of personal work and healing to realize I don't need one person to be my everything.
Yep. And the fact that you put that pressure on someone in a monogamous relationship to be your everything is not fair to one person. You can't get mad at somebody because they don't want to go watch a rom-com with you. Or you can't get mad at a girl because she doesn't want to go watch a Marvel movie.
Yep.
Go find somebody else who will watch a Marvel movie with you, or go find someone else who will watch a rom-com with you, because there's somebody out there that will. Poly, for me, I'm very straight, so I only date men, but that doesn't mean I can't have a non-sexual poly relationship with a female and do the things that I like to do that a man doesn't want to do with me. You know, like a best friend, but you have that intimate, soulful relationship, not intimate in the bedroom, but we are connected soulfully where I love you, I care about you, you are absolutely one of my favorite people on the planet, and I have that relationship with a couple of females, and those are some of my favorite relationships.
And they're encouraged, I imagine. Like in most poly relationships, you see you're encouraging people to go out there and have more relationships, more friendships.
Yes. And you know what, let's get real quick.
Yeah.
One of the reasons fairly big reason that I am so supportive of her finding other relationships is it takes pressure off of me.
I understand that, but please go on.
Okay. and that's the thing. Before I found Polly, I actually have a few clinical diagnoses. One being white knight syndrome and the other being martyr syndrome. Okay, and basically what I do is when I love somebody, when I commit myself to somebody, I sacrifice of myself to make sure that they're happy. I'm also a hedonist. So the peoples that I am connecting with, they're happy, their pleasure is my happy, my pleasure. But I push it to the point that I am no longer me.
Man,
right?
I feel you on all this. Like, this is some stuff that I also had to overcome.
Mm-hmm. So I was with my ex-wife for 14 years. What eventually ended us was the fact that I wasn't the person that she was in love with anymore. I was with my ex-fiance for 3.5 years. The exact same thing.
Yeah, like you lose yourself in the relationship.
Yeah.
I remember when I got divorced, I got a one-bedroom apartment, and then I walked through IKEA and realized I have no idea what my style is. I walked all the way through IKEA, bought nothing, because I didn't know what I liked, and that's how much I had lost myself in a relationship.
So Gabby, on the opposite of that, in poly, when you have multiple partners, now you have to figure out what your aesthetic is with everybody involved.
There will be more on nesting partners in the next episode. Thank you both so much for coming. Really appreciate all the wonderful insight you've given me on so many things. I'd like to get you both back individually. I would like to have a conversation with you about littles and also brats.
Can I bring my coloring book?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd like to have a conversation with you about service tops and a couple other topics.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I can say them on YouTube.
We could figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
If
you have any questions, you can send them to ask@kinkypolyatheist.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the podcast. And if all else fails, think responsibly. See you guys next time.